There is something deeply human about the desire to explore. Every corner of this planet holds a story, a landscape, a moment that can stop you in your tracks and remind you just how extraordinary the world truly is. From ancient geological formations carved over millions of years to crystal clear waters that seem almost too perfect to be real, the Earth offers experiences that no photograph can fully capture. These are the kinds of places that stay with you long after you have returned home. The ones that reshape how you see beauty, nature, and your own place in the world. What follows is a journey through 10 of the most breathtaking destinations on the planet, each one unique, each one unforgettable, and each one worthy of a spot on every traveler's list. Perched dramatically on the edge of a volcanic caldera in the Aegean Sea, Santorini is a place that looks almost too beautiful to exist outside of a painting. The iconic whitewashed buildings with their vivid blue domes cascade down cliffsides, catching the golden light of the Mediterranean sun in a way that feels almost cinematic. The island was shaped by one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded history, and that dramatic geological past is visible in every jagged cliff and sweeping sea view. The village of Oia is particularly famous for its sunsets, drawing visitors from around the world who gather each evening to watch the sky transform into shades of amber, rose, and deep violet. Beyond the views, Santorini offers rich history, exceptional local cuisine, and volcanic black sand beaches that contrast beautifully with the turquoise water. This is nature at its most raw, most powerful, and most humbling. The Amazon rainforest is the largest tropical rainforest on Earth and one of the most biodiverse places in existence. It is home to an estimated 10% of all species on the planet, many of which have yet to be discovered or documented by science. Walking through the Amazon is an experience unlike any other. The air is thick and alive, filled with the sounds of birds, insects, and distant water. The canopy stretches so high above that sunlight filters down in thin golden beams, illuminating a world of extraordinary complexity beneath. Few places on Earth evoke the idea of paradise quite like the Maldives. This island nation in the Indian Ocean is made up of over 1,000 coral islands grouped into 26 atolls, and it sits so low above sea level that it has become one of the most visible symbols of the climate crisis. But standing on one of its white sand beaches, looking out at water so clear and so impossibly blue that it seems to glow, it is easy to understand why people travel from every part of the world to experience it. The underwater world of the Maldives is equally spectacular, with coral reefs teeming with manta rays, whale sharks, sea turtles, and thousands of species of fish. Overwater bungalows allow guests to fall asleep to the sound of gentle waves and wake up to views that feel like a dream. At the southern tip of South America, where the Andes Mountains meet the sea and glaciers stretch as far as the eye can see, lies Patagonia. This vast and largely untouched wilderness spans both Argentina and Chile and contains some of the most dramatic landscapes on the planet. Torres del Paine National Park in Chile is perhaps the most iconic part of the region, featuring towering granite peaks, electric blue glaciers, and lakes of such vivid color that they appear almost artificial. The wind in Patagonia is legendary, howling across open plains and shaping the very trees that dare to grow there. Wildlife is abundant, including guanacos, condors, and pumas that roam freely across the land. For those who love adventure and solitude in equal measure, Patagonia offers an experience that is both physically demanding and deeply rewarding. Kyoto is a city where the ancient and the modern exist in a state of quiet harmony. Once the imperial capital of Japan for over 1,000 years, it is home to more than 1,600 Buddhist temples, 400 Shinto shrines, and some of the most beautifully preserved traditional architecture in the world. Walking through the Arashiyama bamboo grove, where towering stalks of bamboo create a cathedral-like tunnel of green, is an experience that feels almost meditative. The Fushimi Inari Shrine, with its thousands of vermilion torii gates winding up a forested mountain, is one of the most visually striking sights in all of Asia. In spring, the city transforms under a canopy of cherry blossoms, and in autumn, the maple trees turn the hillsides into a tapestry of red, orange, and gold. Kyoto is not just beautiful, it is deeply, profoundly moving. There are few wildlife spectacles on Earth that can match the Great Migration of the Serengeti. Each year, over 1.5 million wildebeest, accompanied by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, move in a massive circular route across the Serengeti plains of Tanzania and into the Masai Mara in Kenya, following the rains and the fresh grass they bring. Witnessing this movement, particularly the dramatic river crossings where animals plunge into crocodile-filled waters, is one of the most extraordinary things a human being can observe in the natural world. But the Serengeti is magnificent even when the migration is not at its peak. The vast golden plains, the acacia trees silhouetted against enormous African skies, and the presence of lions, elephants, leopards, and cheetahs make every moment feel like something out of a nature documentary. Carved by glaciers over millions of years, the fjords of Norway are among the most awe-inspiring natural formations on the planet. These deep, narrow inlets of water, flanked by sheer cliffs that rise hundreds of meters above the surface, create landscapes of almost unreal grandeur. The Geiranger Fjord and the Nærøy Fjord are both recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Sites and are considered among the finest examples of fjord scenery in the world. Waterfalls cascade down the cliff faces in thin silver threads, feeding the impossibly green water below. In summer, the midnight sun bathes everything in a warm golden light that lasts well into the night. In winter, the same fjords become the backdrop for the northern lights, with curtains of green and purple dancing across the sky in one of nature's most spectacular light shows. High in the Andes Mountains of Peru, hidden among clouds and surrounded by steep jungle-covered peaks, the ancient Incan citadel of Machu Picchu stands as one of the greatest achievements of human civilization. Built in the 15th century and abandoned less than 100 years later during the Spanish conquest, it remained largely unknown to the outside world until American historian Hiram Bingham brought it to international attention in 1911. The precision of its stone construction, achieved without the use of mortar or modern tools, continues to astonish engineers and archaeologists to this day. The site sits at an elevation of approximately 2,400 meters above sea level, and the views of the surrounding mountains and valleys are nothing short of extraordinary. Whether approached by the famous Inca Trail or by train through the Sacred Valley, arriving at Machu Picchu is a moment that stays with you forever. These 10 places represent just a fraction of what this planet has to offer, but each one carries within it a kind of beauty that transcends language and speaks directly to something essential in the human spirit. The Great Barrier Reef is the largest coral reef system on Earth and one of the most complex and biodiverse ecosystems in existence. It is so vast that it can be seen from space, and yet its true wonders are found beneath the surface, in a world of extraordinary color and life. Over 900 islands and 2,900 individual reefs make up this living structure, which is home to more than 1,500 species of fish, 4,000 types of mollusk, and 6 of the world's 7 species of marine turtle. Snorkeling or diving through its waters is an experience of pure wonder, moving through a world that operates entirely on its own terms, indifferent to the human world above. The reef faces serious threats from climate change and ocean warming, making every visit both a privilege and a reminder of what is at stake if the world fails to act.